Hi, this is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life, and this is the art of the deck. Today's deck that I will be sharing with you is the Zillich Tarot, and I fell in love with this deck online, of course, checking out the online features. And what I saw in it was just an array of color, a very fine use of watercolor technique. And I also saw some images that I think are images that people would really want to get into or see or connect with, especially if you are an intuitive reader like I am, and if you are a visual reader like I am, you will really love these. Now, all I'm doing here is just setting everything up right side up. I did not, this isn't a fresh open. I did open these because I tell you all, every time I say to myself, I'm going to wait and open it online for the audience, it never happens because basically I get so excited about the deck, I can't wait to open it. And then after I open it, then I'm in it, and that's that. So my apologies if these are not in order. If you like to see them in order, like major arcana, then the cups, and then the swords, and then the wands, and then the pentacles, they're not in that order, but at any rate. So the artist, I apologize that I was not able to find a lot of information on this artist at all. What I do know is that the Christine Zillich, who is the artist for this deck, is from Germany. She is a German artist. Of course, she is, her medium is primarily watercolor. What I did learn is that she's done some book covers. And I also learned that she is in the process of producing a short film, and her images are a part of that film. And if you go online, I'll try to remember to put that in the description box so that you can see the work in progress. So there is a video of the work in progress, and you can also probably see it if you follow her on Facebook, and that is Christine Zillich Tarot. Christine Zillich Tarot is the Facebook page that you want to take a look at. So, German artist, watercolor, very incredible technique. And if anybody has ever worked with watercolor or tried to work with watercolor like I have, to be able to capture the richness of the image, or to create that richness in the image, and also to be able to control the watercolor is, to me, rather difficult, but I feel like she has certainly mastered this. So I'm going to get right into the deck and let you take a look. Again, my apologies if these images are not in order, but I will help you at least see them. This is a Thoth deck, so that means that there are some words at the bottom that will align with that system. And for those of you who are familiar with that will recognize that. But I just right now want you to really take in the images in this card. And again, like I said, the technique, the control that you see from these watercolor images. I'm sorry, this is the chariot. I want to make sure you see that since I don't have them in order here. They really draw you in. These images really drew me in. And like I said, I saw them online at first, and I said, something tells me that's going to be a great deck. And to read it, it's interesting because sometimes, because of the watercolor, you'll see things that maybe were not intended by the artist, but that are intended for your eyes, like especially an image like this. It looks like a flower, but it may look like a sun. It may look like a bud. It may look like a woman's dress here. That's just me. But I feel like for those, again, that are visual artists or visual readers, you'll really get a great amount of enjoyment. This is one of my favorite ones. This is the Four of Discs, which translates into the Four of Pentacles. And in this case, the word here is power. This very much reminds me of the Tower card in the major arcana, but as we know with the Four of Cups, it's about, or the Four of Pentacles or Four of Discs, we usually have the image of the person trying to maintain control or trying to be in control of the territory, which to me kind of goes together. Sometimes when you're trying to be too controlling in a situation, it will cause that Tower experience to happen. There's the Knight of Discs. Again, that translates into the coins. Now, there are some changes in this deck that I had to, as a reader, make myself very conscious of. This is adjustment, which translates into the judgment card, but then the justice card is their judgment card, if I'm not mistaken. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because that was kind of a little bit of a confusion for me. And then the other one is about the knights and the kings, which I'll get to when I run across them. This is the Queen of Cups, one of my favorites in the deck. This is Eight of Discs. Beautiful cards. And also the other thing that I really like that Christine Zillich does is that, you know, you have these images like this one, very pastel and light and airy and fluid for the Two of Cups, but she's not afraid to give you hard color either, which is what I meant about the control of the brush. Again, a very distinct image in this Seven of Wands representing valor. This is a beautiful one here, Six of Wands, victory. And if you look closely, you'll see these two birds. Knight of Cups. All right, so here we go with the knights. In this deck, the knights are kings. The knights are kings. So that's something, if you get this deck, you're going to have to remind yourself of, because whenever I throw this card, I go into knights and then I have to remind myself that this isn't really a knight. This is really a king. Little confusing, bit of an adjustment as a tarot reader, but not something that you can't get over, especially when you are so absorbed in the images that you see here. There we are. That's the Prince of Discs, excuse me, the Prince of Discs. And the Prince is the Knight, I think. Now watch me get to something else and then I'll remember it's not that. But there again, there's that airy pastel image, and I don't know if you can see this, but again, once you get the deck, you'll see it. But there's an image of a person's body here. There's their head, and they're kind of dancing in these like a layer upon layer upon layer, like their feet are here. I don't know if you can see it. There's the legs, there's the body. And so to me, the universe implies that there are levels, you know, that when we talk about universal law or universal law, I'm just going to say that, then there are levels and there are layers, and that she captures that. Zillich captures that in that card. There's the Four of Swords, Nine of Discs, Ace of Swords, Three of Swords. I also like this one. It talks about sorrow, and it on her back, it looks like, you know how people say you got a monkey on your back? It's like she's got a bird, and it look like a evil, some kind of evil spirit riding her back. Ten of Swords. I love this Hermit card. Very nice. There's your Six of Discs. High Priestess. All right, there we are. We have the Princess of Discs. Now, I have to remind myself if the Princess is the page. But like I said, when you get the book, there's another princess. Beautiful. Oh, no. The princess is the queen. I told you I was going to get them confused. So the knight is the king. The princess is the queen. And then we'll get to, there's the Princess of Wands. That card reminded me of it. There's a star. Ten of Wands. This is the Magician. There's another princess. That's your Queen of Swords there. Two of Wands. Six of Swords. It's a nice image, and it even has another image in the reverse on that one. That's the other thing that I noticed about this deck too, is that when they do come in reverse, sometimes you can see things in the cards in their reversal. There's the Queen. There's the Queen. So the Princess is not the Queen. Okay, so now you can understand what the issues are with this deck. One, like I said, is going to be in the disc versus pentacles, which will be really easy. But the other is that court. The court confuses me to death. So you'll just have to get used to that and etch it in your brain. And this deck is still very new to me. So my apologies if I'm confusing you about what's what. There's your Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Cups. There's the Queen. And then there's the Prince. So the Prince must be the Knight, and the Knight is the King, and the Queen is the Queen, and the Princess is probably the Page. But don't quote me. Definitely don't quote me. Okay. Ace of Discs. So just some really powerful, beautiful, engaging, alluring. Look at this Death card. You've got the butterflies, the black butterflies. She looks like she has crow wings, and you can see this even better when you have your own deck. Eight of Wands. But as I was saying, very engaging, very alluring, and for a visual artist or a visual and intuitive artist such as myself, this is the very deck for you. I feel like when you are reading them, they can really take you places. I think also because of the element of water, because it is a water, it is watercolor. There's the Devil there. The water, this Devil is something else. I mean, he got a lot going on. It's like this. That's the Devil. The Ten of Disc here. As I was saying, I think because of the element of water and water being an intuitive element, it just awakens some other places in your brain, in your spirit, in your mind as you're looking at them. And I think that you will find that to be the same. All right, we're coming down to the end here. This is Temperance. Seven of Discs. The Four of Cups. The Moon. Queen of Discs, love her as well. Really powerful, earthy image. The Tower, I like this Tower because you can really see the structures. You know, we see the structure of the Tower in most tarot cards, but it's like you see the structures falling apart and you see the person. I don't know if you can see them there, but there's the person and their body kind of falling in the traditional card. Eight of Swords. Princess of Cups, which we've learned is the Page, and then the last one in this spread is the Nine of Wands. All right, so that is the Zillich Tarot. It doesn't come in a bigger size. This size right here is probably about, let's see, 3 inches by 2 inches, if I could guess. Maybe 3.5 by 2.5, something like that. So relatively small cards. They don't come in a larger deck. They do come in the 10, and that's the way that we found them. So if you're looking for a beautiful deck and an artistic deck, or an artistically and aesthetically pleasing deck, you really can't find one more beautiful than this one. This is Christine Zillich, and this has been The Art of the Deck with Wooing Nature. As always, I hope you enjoy those decks out there, and I hope you're having a fabulous life.